Every trader has a losing morning, but not every trader takes a moment to pause and reset. And you might recognize this. The moment that loss lands, something happens in your body. And before you know it, you are already scanning for the next trade to get into, even if you promised yourself earlier to follow your plan. Today, we are sitting with that urge to make it back and why understanding it changes everything. You are listening to the Confidence in Trading podcast. I am your host, Agnieszka Wood, a trading mindset coach and a seasoned day trader with 15 years of experience. In this podcast, we explore the psychology and human element of trading because how you think and feel determines everything. Together, we explore the layers of compassionate discipline to help you navigate the emotional ups and downs of trading with calm, consistency, and confidence. Whether you are just starting out or you are a seasoned pro, this podcast is your trusted companion, providing support on your trading journey. Get ready to master your mindset and trade like the trader you know you can be. Welcome to episode 81, The Urge to Make It Back. I want to start by describing the actual moment to you because I think most traders have lived inside it without ever stopping to look at it directly. You know, that moment when you enter the trade and it's a loss, you closing it red. And for the first few seconds, maybe nothing seems to happen, but very quickly after, something starts shifting. You might feel your chest getting a little tighter. Maybe your shoulders come up just slightly towards your ears. Maybe your eyes start to move faster across the screen and you feel a little bit more scattered. And the chart from 5 minutes ago suddenly looks different. And there is this urge, more urge than it was before. And the time itself starts to feel different, like there is a window closing, like something has to happen soon or it won't happen at all. And it feels urgent and it feels like pressure. Your focus narrows. And the way you started your morning, the patience you had, the ability to wait for your setup, all of that contracts down to one thing, which is the screen right in front of you and the next possible trade. The rest of your life basically disappears for a few minutes. The plan you had for the day, the good intentions, the promises you made to yourself, none of that exists in this moment. I remember in my early years of trading, I've had experienced this so many times. I would sit at the screen after taking a loss and I simply could not walk away. And I would tell myself that I just need one more trade, just one. And if I size it up, I just need a little move. All I wanted was to get this neutral, just to get to break even, to not end the day like this with this feeling. And I would sit there for hours sometimes taking trades I had no business taking and going further and further into a hole. Looking back later, wondering who exactly was in that chair because it didn't feel like the trader who had started the day. So, what is that exactly? What is that state? Why does it feel so different from the morning when you sat down calm and prepared and all committed to follow your plan? How does the same person in the same chair in front of the same screen become completely someone different in a matter of minutes? Because what I have come to understand after years of watching this in myself and in the traders I work with is that the urge to make it back is rarely about what it looks like on the surface. There is something else going on underneath. And that's what we have to look at if we actually want this to shift. So let me show you what's actually happening underneath, because once you see this piece, the whole experience starts to make sense in a way it never did before. Here's the piece that most traders miss, and I missed it for years myself. So I want to walk you through it carefully. So on the surface, the urge to make it back looks like it's about money. The number on the screen went down and you want to bring it back up from red to green. Simple. And if you stop the analysis there, then the work seems like it should be about discipline, right? Just don't take the trade, just walk away, just be tougher with yourself. And if you have tried it, you already know how well it works, which is to say, not very well at all. Because underneath the money story, there is something much more personal happening. And it is something most traders never name out loud. When you take a loss, your identity gets temporarily attached to it. The loss stops being a number on the screen and quietly becomes evidence. Evidence of something you have been afraid of about yourself for a long time. That maybe you don't have what it takes. That maybe this isn't going to work after all. That maybe everyone who quietly doubted you was right. Sit with that for a moment. Most traders carry this fear. It rarely gets said out loud because saying it out loud feels too vulnerable. But it is there, running quietly underneath everything. And when you take a loss, especially a loss that feels avoidable, that fear gets activated. The losing trade stops being one trade in a long career and suddenly becomes a referendum on whether you are the kind of person who can actually do this. And once that fear gets activated, your body responds the way it would respond to any threat. The part of you that follows the plan, that reads the charts objectively, that can wait, that part starts to go quiet. And the part of you that scans for danger takes the wheel. Your nervous system thinks you are in actual danger because, in a way, you are. Your sense of who you are is under attack, at least the way it feels in your body. And so the impulsive trade that follows isn't really a trading decision at all. It's a survival move. Your system is trying to get you back to safety. So when you feel the urge to make it back, what you are really feeling is the pull to get back to a version of yourself you can live with. The trade isn't really about the money. The trade is about closing the gap between who you thought you were this morning and who today's red number is whispering you might actually be. And until that gap gets addressed directly, no rule, no checklist, no amount of trying harder is going to settle it. Because the impulsive action you take is the predictable output of a system that has stopped trying to trade well and is just trying to get you back to safety. So if that is what's actually happening underneath the urge, the next question becomes how you work with it in the moment. And this is where compassionate discipline comes in. The shift that changes everything is when you stop treating the urge as something to overcome and you start getting curious about what it's saying. So when you feel that urge, the instinct is just try to suppress it or clamp down, force yourself to walk away. And maybe you can do that once or twice through sheer willpower, but you are basically white knuckling against your own nervous system. And willpower runs out. The harder you push against the urge, the more pressure builds. And the next time it shows up, it's going to be even louder. Suppression is not the work. The work is pause, name what you feel, and then make a different choice. And I want to walk you through each of these in a way that it's specific to this moment, because this is where most traders apply the framework too generically and miss the real medicine inside it. The first step, pause. Pause means stop your hands first before you do anything else. Before you reach for the mouse, before you click into the next setup, just stop. Sit back, far from the screen if you can. Maybe even turn around your chair so you are actually physically not looking at the charts. And then take a deep breath in, into your belly. And then when you breathe out, just drop your shoulders, relax your jaw, focus on your feet on the floor. The pause is not about thinking your way through it. The pause is about giving your body 1 second to come out of survival mode so that the rest of you can come back online. The second step is name it. You might have heard of the phrase name it to tame it. Most traders, when they try to name what they're feeling, they say something generic like, I feel upset, I feel frustrated. And that's a start, but that's not the naming that actually does the work. The naming that changes something inside you sounds more like this. I feel like I can't go home with this number. I feel like I failed today. I feel like if I don't fix this right now, it means something about me that I don't want it to mean. That kind of specificity is where your nervous system actually begins to settle, because the threat underneath the urge has finally been acknowledged out loud instead of pushed down. When you name what you are really feeling with that level of precision, something in the body releases, because the part of you that was sounding the alarm finally feels heard. You're not arguing with it. You're not shaming it. You're just acknowledging what's true. Yes, this hurts. Yes, this feels like more than just a trade. Yes, there's something about this that's touching an old fear. And maybe I don't know exactly what fear it is, but I feel something that's bigger than this loss. The moment you say that to yourself honestly, the urgency drops a little. Not all the way, but enough that you have space to make a different choice. And now you can choose from a different place. Now, and only now, you can respond to the situation instead of reacting to it. Because now you are not reacting from inside the survival state, you are responding from somewhere a little more settled. And the choice in front of you is no longer, do I take this trade or not? The choice in front of you is, who do I want to be in the next 10 minutes? And those are two completely different questions. And they come from two completely different parts of you. Before I bring this home, I want to give you a few questions that you can sit with this week, because this is the kind of work that doesn't happen during listening to the podcast. It happens at the trading desk in the actual moment when you take a loss and you feel that urge. So here are the questions I want you to carry with you this week. What do you actually say to yourself in the first 30 seconds after a losing trade? Not the words you say out loud, not what you eventually write in your journal once you've had the time to clean it up. The sentence that runs inside before you have had any time to edit it. That sentence is the key. And most traders have never slowed down enough to actually hear it. So I want you to listen for it. Just notice what's there. And then sit with this one. If you walked away right now with a loss intact, what would that mean about you? Not about your trading, about you as a person. Notice what comes up when you hear that question, because whatever comes up is what we are actually working with. And one more, just to take with you. Has there ever been a time you made it back and felt worse afterward, not better? And just notice what your body does when you ask yourself that. I want to leave you with this thought today, and I want you to actually let it land instead of moving past it too quickly. Walking away from a losing session with a loss intact without making it back, seeing that red number, that is one of the most sophisticated things a regulated trader can do. And the reason it's so sophisticated is that it requires your sense of who you are to no longer be hostage to today's P&L. That kind of unhooking, where the number on the screen stops having a vote in how you feel about yourself as a person, it's not a small thing, but it is, in many ways, the actual work. So the real work here is not about being harder on yourself after a loss. And it's not about adding another rule to prevent it from happening next time. The real work is slowly, patiently learning to keep your identity separate from what the market gave you that day. Because some days the market gives you a green number and some days it gives you a red one. And on the deepest level, neither one has anything to do with who you are. And every single time you manage to hold that line, even imperfectly, even just a little bit better than you did last week, you are building the foundation of a trader who can actually last in this. Because the trader who lasts is the one whose identity is no longer up for grabs every single trading day. And I will tell you from my own experience and from watching this in the people I work with, this is where calm, consistency, and confidence actually come from. Not from gritting your teeth through the urge, but doing the work of unhooking who you are from what the day gave you. Thank you so much for listening to the Confidence in Trading podcast. If today's episode resonated with you, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and let me know what landed for you. It helps more traders find this work, and together we make a bigger impact. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe so you can come back for the next episode. And check out some of the previous shows while you're at it. This is Agnieszka Wood from A Head Coach. Bye for now.